Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlicker, shills, debt slaves, serfs, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks. I'm Useful Idiot. Welcome. And let's talk about Trump a little bit more because he's made 3 phone calls recently that are all fairly interesting. One is to Russia, one is to China, and one is to Alex Jones. And all 3 of these phone calls are fairly telling. And I assume because now we have the new Trump that he's being gracious as usual, but the fact that he's out there thanking everyone is a good sign. But first of all, we have him making a call to Russia. We already know that he has decent relationships with Putin, and I think one thing that Trump's going to do automatically is treat Russia with the respect they deserve historically in the world, and that can go a long way, just that, in mending relations between the United States and Russia. But we also know that, for at least with Trump, we know there's going to be an attempt to establish some new understanding, and that we can sigh of relief that Hillary Clinton didn't become president. She was already rattling the sword and upping the ante for perhaps a military confrontation with Russia. So the fact that war was averted is a good thing. And then the fact that Trump called China. So now Trump, I think, erroneously wants to label China a currency manipulator, but it might just be a bargaining chip rhetoric to get China to the bargaining table and start talking about some of these issues. He has some legitimate issues about trade with China, but it'll be interesting to see when he steps into realpolitik in the White House and has to deal with China in that sense, not necessarily as the businessman he's been, but he will certainly have some insights. But apparently that phone call went good as well. And then lastly, we have this phone call to Alex Jones. So, oh, holy shit, who would have thought in our lifetime we would have a president-elect in the United States giving, of all people, a call Alex Jones. And Alex Jones, of course, is notorious. I find him a bit much, and I find his fear mongering and his drama a bit much, and a lot of things they grab onto for stories are dubious. But he certainly is a pioneer. He certainly is passionate. He certainly has persevered, and a lot of stories that wouldn't have otherwise gotten aired have been aired. And I know early on there was a lot of things that he did and reports that he had that exposed a lot to me. So I appreciate that. But the odd thing about the whole Alex Jones phenomenon as well. And no surprise that Trump, being a conservative now, although Trump was a Democrat up until about 5 years ago, I understand. So anyway, this connection with Alex Jones and this right wing, what are considered right wing conspiracies, and that. But it's interesting how the whole conspiracy theory thing has become sort of a right wing phenomenon. I would almost imagine for some reason that it would be liberals who would be interested in that sort of thing. For example, having another investigation into 9/11 and being able to indict the Bush administration. Not only that, but that would lead to perhaps war crimes against the Bush administration for the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. And you'd think liberals would be really interested in that sort of thing, but they don't really seem to care at all. I know that's a gross generalization because there's plenty of liberals, certainly independents, who are interested in 9/11 theories and other things that Alex Jones talks about. But yeah, it's just kind of strange that it is a kind of a right-wing phenomenon, and very unfortunate. It's too bad that all the skeptics out there can't get together on what things to be skeptical about. But I guess that's just how it goes. But God, I mean, I'm just still surprised that it's not really rippling through. That of course it will ripple through the mainstream media and liberal media that Donald Trump would call someone like Alex Jones a complete nutbag, angry man out there with a loud voice and a lot of crazy ideas, and so I imagine that's how it's going to get painted in the liberal press. But personally, I just find it astounding that we have somebody in the government, particularly the president of the fucking United States, who's giving Alex Jones a phone call and thanking him for all his efforts to undermine the historical American narrative of the empire. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too?